Welcome back everybody. Today we're going to be talking about ECOMI. In today's video, I just want to congratulate everyone that took the trade at 3055. Like I said, I just let the technicals in the charts show me what the trade is. So, you know, short or long, whichever cryptocurrency. So far, that prediction is panning out exactly as I predicted. So it hit that 3055 level. As you can see here, we had a massive wick down. We did wick down below that level. It did go all the way down to 3051. And then I was saying buying right here around 3055. And you can see price is currently trending up. We are currently up 30% from these lower levels. As you can see, we're up roughly around 29% on that order. So if you guys entered in the trade, congratulations. I just want to say, you know, if you guys just listen to the technicals like I do, the technicals in the charts, technical analysis does work. So as you can see, I've also changed my chart. Some of you would know from my older videos. I used to have just normal green and red candlesticks. I've now changed that. I've decluttered my chart, made it very clean and simple for you guys. I just want to start using trend lines as, you know, moving averages and stuff are delayed. And I had, you know, heaps of like stochastic RSI. I might pull it up occasionally here and there. But anyway, I just want to show you the levels you need to watch out for. So your very first level, you can see we are currently coming into contact with it. So if we flip over to the daily time frame and we zoom in here, you can see this level here. This was when we previously had that all-time low back in November. This is when we had the FTX collapse, massive downturn into it. We then had a very nice pop. But if we look at this level from when we made that low back in November, you extend that trend line all the way across. You had this sideways consolidation. It was more or less, you know, trading within a bear flag, and then it had another breakdown. As you can see here, once it failed to close, you know, once it closed below that level, we had that very sharp correction. And I was telling all of you, I did expect a new lower low. I mentioned it somewhere around here, around March, and we just pierced that low, and then we had a nice 15% pop, and it popped straight up into resistance. So your very first resistance level, we are currently coming into contact with it. So if you guys did buy ECOMI down at my mentioned price level, 3055, and I did also say this miniature bear flag, I did say the first price level would be 3062, so around this area right here. So on the April 22nd, it hit that level, and then the next day we hit that lower level from this way bigger bear flag. This bear flag, this lasted for many days. We were in it for around 105 days, so it really didn't do nothing much, but slowly trend upwards. Now the thing is, right, with bear flags, people usually get very bullish, because the reason why they think that is because you're making higher lows, right? So as you can see, we'll just put arrows in here. You can see here, we had a low. We then put in a new lower low all through this range here. And then we made another low right here and right here, right? So we put in a low here and another higher low, and then it continued to make higher highs, as you can see. Now that gets a lot of newbies, that gets them bullish, thinking that we're in an uptrend, because, you know, higher highs and higher lows mean, you know, people think it's usually in a bull trend. But the bigger pattern there, as you can see, we had, we'll just let the VPVR load in. There we go. As you can see here, we had a massive down move into that pattern. As you can see, this is when FTX, the whole collapse was happening. The FTX exchange was essentially a fraud, and it had a massive collapse down into that bear flag pattern. So usually if you have a down move into a bearish pattern, you know, when it's trending upwards after you've had a big collapse, and then we had another follow through. As you can see here, it had another massive leg lower that took out that previous low around November 22nd. So we'll just take away them arrows there. as you can see, these levels were key support and resistance levels. So if we do manage to get above here, I would be taking profit. I did take some profit off that trade. I brought in around 3055, take 30%, you know, take money off here because you're currently up 30%. So if you want to take 50% of your order, you know, to me, I'm more of a in and out trade. I'm trying to be very nimble because to me, I still believe we're in a bear market. I just feel people are very bullish on Bitcoin here when it's trading around $30,000. We're currently trading around 28 grand. But when it was trading up in the 30K range, people were as bullish as when it was making the $60,000 highs, the $65,000 to $69,000 highs. So you have to be very, very cautious. When everyone's getting greedy, you want to be fearful. And when people are fearful, you want to be greedy. Very nice quote by Warren Buffett. So anyway, guys, your very first level of resistance is currently sitting around that 3071, which we are currently coming into contact with it. As you can see, people are starting to take some profits here, as you can see. Your very next level of resistance is this level here at 308. We'll just round it up, 3081. And then your very next level of resistance is this horizontal level here at 3086. So you've got many points of resistance on the way up. And then if we flip back to the weekly time frame, we've got another trend line here. This trend line here, this is like the line in the sand for ECOMI. If you see it get back above this level, to me, I would think that this cryptocurrency is going to potentially have a pretty large pop to the upside. So as you can see, it acted as support back in April of last year, and then once it fell through, hammered against this trend line, acted as resistance, hammered against it again back in October before we had the FTX collapse, held it as resistance, the bodies of the candle, and then we had another touch when we were at the top of that bear flag, and then it acted as resistance and it broke down, as you can see. So if we manage to get above all these points of resistance in the short term, 3081 and 3086, I would expect ECOMI to target this. I would expect ECOMI to target this downsloping resistance trend line. So at the moment, if we push up the very next week, you're talking about 201, so 1/10 of a cent. If we were to get above 0.0011, 1.1/10 of a cent, I would be more certain that ECOMI has broken out of this downtrend, because the more touch points you have, you know, hammering against it, you know, it's like if you're going to run straight into a door, ram straight into a door, the very first attempt, you're probably not going to knock the door over unless the door's rotten or it's, you know, barely hanging off the hinges. But the more times you hit against that door, it's just going to fall flat on its face, and then it's gonna, you know, you're essentially going to see it break above that resistance trend line. So anyway, guys, I want to congratulate everyone that followed me. Just following the technicals in the charts, it works. I know there's people that say it doesn't work. It does work. I'm proof that it does work. Many of my calls so far, you know, I've done some very amazing Bitcoin calls lately, many other cryptocurrencies. But anyway, guys, make sure you hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the very next video. GameX out. Peace.